And we're live. Nathan, hello.
Hello, good to have you. Good to be here, Anthony.
You thought you was on your channel then.
I want to good to have you.
Yeah.
Good to be here.
It's the other way around this time. All the way around.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, we were talking this morning about Gary Orsum. And I think we were both sort of, I think you were taken aback by the fact that I'd actually knew who he was originally. And when I said to you, oh, I subscribed to him months ago, you went, really?
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised. I didn't expect the first person I spoke to about Gary Orsum to say, oh yeah, I've been subscribed to him for months.
I suppose it was a bit of a shock because it's not normally somebody you'd expect to subscribe to. However, I think with Red Pill and Red Pill Philosophy's channel, he watching some of his videos, and obviously you get brought into that sort of like arena. YouTube sort of like will recommend similar channels. So in that case, Gary Orsum did actually get recommended to me, and I did watch a few of his videos. And of course, yeah, you're going to subscribe because he's kind of polished, isn't he? You know, his videos are polished.
Oh yeah, it's good video maker, as we'll see, you know.
Yeah, and that's leading on to the next point, which is when I mentioned to you this morning, I said, have you seen his response video? You went, no. Response video? I went, yeah, have you seen it? And you went, no. I was like, okay, right. So the plan is, in a moment or two, that we're going to pop on the video itself, and you're going to watch it, and hopefully you'll be responding to it.
Yeah, I'm up for that. I haven't seen it yet, so it'll be fresh. Literally, my reaction to it will be first time around. I know you've seen it already. Obviously, you've sent me the link, but I've not clicked on it yet. So whenever you're ready, I'll queue it up, and then we'll present it, and we'll have a watch.
Yeah, sure. I've sent a few links out, so if anybody's listening in chat right now, I have got a link out for Walt Flat Earth, so I think he will be joining at some point. I've also sent one to Adam Meakin, and I think Arwen has one as well. And Sleeping Warrior. So if any of those guys are listening in right now, you have a link in the Skype chat. I'm going to give a few shout outs to a few people that are actually in now. We have 45 people already watching. Multi Tom Tom was the first here, so thanks for joining, Multi. We've got Peter Van Leeuwen, Pelly, Planar Flat Earth, Lovers Everywhere, and Rune's obviously in. Jose Misa and Ron Hagberg. Clearly Flat Earth, hello. Right, so we have 50 watching, and guess who's joined us? Tony.
Shout out to Sleeping Warrior.
Shout out to Sleeping Warrior. Shout out Refracted.
Fuck you, motherfucker.
Hey, Roxanne, nice to see you.
Are we talking about anything particular, or are we meant to be? Because I know I said I was going to join, but I've only just finished. But what are we doing? Okay,
well, Gary Orsum has done a response video to Nathan, who hasn't actually seen the video yet. So we're going to do a little bit of a live response with that. And then we're expecting a few more guests to turn up. We've got the IRM crew hopefully making an appearance. Because I'd obviously like to promote them a little bit, get them a few more subscribers, a few more people that watch these live streams. You know, maybe they want to go over there and watch a Globebuster-esque type of channel, discuss Flat Earth on a Friday evening.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so everybody go and subscribe to Sleeping Warrior as well. He is actually still in front of me. I'm catching him, though. I'm catching you, mate. Catching you.
Hang on, what do you mean still in front of you? I clawed back that lost ground when you said to me the other week, I've got more subs than you now. I was like, no, you haven't.
Hang on, wait a minute. You did it in one day. You got all your subscribers in one day. I'm sure you bought them, mate.
No, I haven't. Listen, I've been doing live streaming while Nathan's been off just to get past you. And now I'm past you.
Not for the good of Flat Earth, not for entertainment value, not for anything other than to beat Ranty.
This is war.
It's not acceptable that some bloke that can't get a straight horizon ends up with more subs than me when I introduced him to Flat Earth. It's not good enough.
Yeah, but you're just what are you, Anthony?
I'm not sure. I'm going to say that I am a
Ace. Right. Okay. Ace. I'll give you that, actually. I will give you that. Because you introduced me to all the trolls.
Ranty, you need to up your game though, because like, have you not seen my latest hangout last night? I've got this thing now where when people subscribe, it plays like a little jingle, and basically it's interacting with the audience, and basically once the trolls realized that they could do stuff, I had all the trolls subbing in like names of like Riley sucks dick and shit like that, just because it came up on screen.
Oh, is that how you did it? You little... I knew there was a trick. I knew you'd sort of bought them off.
You've not been watching my live hangouts, Ranty. I've upped my game that much now that I'm actually leading it in the HUD.
Well, listen, that's going to change. Well, it probably will change. But there was also something else I wanted to speak about, which is that I do have another channel, and I will be uploading all my shitty videos onto that. So all the data stuff, like the last couple of videos that I've put out has just been data, boring, and I've titled it, it's not really worth watching. And to be fair, it isn't, unless you're really interested in looking at nothing, which is what it was. It was shit. So rather than having that on the channel, I'm thinking, I should put it on my other channel, and, I'll put a link out later on to that channel. And if anybody's actually interested in just watching the crappy weather stuff, they can go and subscribe and watch it over there.
Ranty, I've got to ask, what's the point
of
a second channel when you've not got your first channel in order?
Oh, that hurt. Oh.
What I mean by that, I know it was a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but what I mean is, like, what's the point of a second channel?
The point is that instead of cluttering up this channel, which I can, when I move in hopefully less than 2 weeks now, we've given them set dates to move. So the latest date is within 2 weeks. So we should be moved in a couple of weeks. I'm going to get my office all sorted out. It's going to be basically a flat earth studio. So I'm going to get everything I need on there. I'm going to up my game. I'm going to be taking you on, and I'm going to be producing proper contented videos on this channel. In other words, I'm going to spend time making videos, because that's what I'm good at. I can do that sort of stuff when I apply myself. I just haven't had the motivation recently.
Hey, listen, did you ever find out what was wrong with the sound not coming through your telly?
Yeah.
Have you been your DAC?
No, I figured it out.
What was it?
I had to increase the volume on the remote.
You're joking.
Hello, Arwin. Nice to see you in.
Hello. Is that really what the fault was? You didn't have the volume high on your screen?
No. It's fine, though. It's sorted itself out now. I don't know what the issue was. I think it was a load of updates that I needed to do on the PC. Finally got all that in order, and yeah.
Well, you've got all the hardware. You just need to learn how to use OBS.
Well, no, I need to get not a memory card, a graphics card as well, to be fair.
No, you don't.
Yeah, we do.
You're not going to use your graphics card for OBS. Listen, just trust me.
Okay. Right, Nathan, do you want to do your thing? Do you want to pop your video on? Let's see what... It's not a long video. I think it's about 10 minutes, maybe.
We need to give Pele a wrench.
Pele, okay.
Yeah, I don't think you've met Rio, but he's from Issa's chat.
Okay.
He's got a very deep voice. He sounds like he's hard as nails.
Maybe
have you got the link to Gary Orsum's video that you can spam in your chat as well? Because I would encourage people, although we're analysing this, to maybe pull it apart. I don't know the content, so I don't know what we'll do with it, to be honest. Who knows? But at the very least, hopefully Gary will pick up some subs off it, because it is actually worth subscribing to him. So hopefully you'll spam his link as well.
Oh, there we go. I've popped his...
Say again, Anthony.
What's his surname? Gary Orsum.
Awesome. I mean, what a name.
Is that really his name?
Orsum.
Orsum. So it's not spelled AW. Yeah, it's Orsum.
Pretty witty.
I wonder if that really is his name. That's an excellent surname.
Yeah, I agree.
It is. And to be fair, if Nathan was going to be debating anybody, could you imagine it? Red's Rhetoric or Gary Orsum? You know?
Yeah, a lot better than fight the flat earth.
Fight the flat earth.
That guy has no clue about what gravity is. Did you watch him on? He was debating somebody on his channel. I don't know who it was, but the guy was quite well spoken. Oh man, the amount of times he says gravity is a fact. We can prove it. We can demonstrate it. And I'm like, you don't even know what gravity is, dickhead. So if you're watching Fight the Flat Earth, you've got a date with destiny coming up with me or Nathan or both of us somewhere, sometime. And we all know it's coming. We just don't know when. But you're going to get done at some point because you're mouthing off way too much.
Gravity is proven and demonstrated. We just have to figure out what it is first.
Yeah, we can prove it. We can demonstrate it, but we just don't know what it is. Shut up, you prick. Just fuck all.
Yeah, I watched a video that you pulled a part of his where he's got a similar setup to you with his green screen and all that stuff. But he used a document, and I just couldn't quite believe that he used it. It's one of those documents that you pull up loads of times, explaining how the Cavendish Newtonian gravity had the wand of magical force at a distance snapped in two.
But it wasn't he responded to my video where I was doing that, and he was commenting on it. I'm sure, because basically what he did on that video, I said that it snaps the wand in two, but he missed that bit out. He didn't play that bit from my video. He's a little shit.
Hey, clearly flat earthers, but fear the flat earth will never show up.
Well,
not fight the flat earth, fear the flat earth.
He's got a date with me or Nathan or me and Nathan or Nathan at some point. That guy's on the targets because he's mouthing off far too much, and he claims that he's very intelligent because he reckons he's got, I think he said 2 degrees and 2 HNCs or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't realize the difference between Cavendish and he thinks Einsteinian, peace be upon him. He thinks Einstein's relativity manifests itself as a force in Newtonian principles, and I'm like, I want a citation for that. Where have you read that? Because I think that's complete bullshit.
It is complete bullshit. So you've got Euclidean 3 space being used in Cavendish Newtonian gravity, and pseudo-Riemannian 4 space being used in Einsteinian gravity. They are totally different mathematical constructs. They're not related. They're not interchangeable. They're totally different.
Well, he says one manifests itself on the other as a force.
Well, he's a fucking idiot.
He's a fucking idiot. So, like I say, spread the word round. Make sure he knows that he's on the target list, and at some point we're going to catch up with him. Either me and Nathan, or Nathan. One of us is going to get him, and we're going to rape him with R.
Right. On a lighter note, stepping away from the raping with R, are you ready to watch this video, Nathan?
Yeah. Do you want me to click play?
Yeah, sure.
Hang on. Can I have a 2-minute recess? I want to go and get. Can I go and get a drink?
Well, it's going to be a video that's playing, so this is your chance to get that drink. You don't have to say anything.
Video.
Put your hand up and say, "Sir, can I go for a drink?"
Please, Mr. Ranty, can I go for a quick? Well, I need to say wee. If I say drink, you always say no. So can I go for a quick wee?
Yes.
Right. Give me literally like 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Are we now going to sit here waiting for Anthony for 2 minutes?
No, we're not. Play the video.
Right. Well, what we'll do in the meantime while he's disappearing then is do just a quick sound check, make sure the sound actually comes through. So I'll press play. Tell me if you can hear it.
Yeah, can hear it. Needs. All good.
Okay.
Can we hear it in the feed though, in the stream?
In the stream, hear it.
I can hear it, but I don't know if the stream can hear it. So
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
okay, right. So Arwin, nice to see you in. I'm glad that you joined. How's your live Flat Earth Early Birds going?
Yeah, it's going well. It's steady as she goes. I got an intro these days.
Excellent. Who made that, or did you do it yourself?
I kind of did it myself, but yeah, Chris Berry made the music, and Karen helped me at the last moment to get some text works in there. So
Brilliant stuff.
yeah, it's kind of basic, you know. It's not very flashy, but I like it.
Right. I'm good to go. Let's go.
So, okay. Right, mute your mics.
Right, hang on.
Hello, everyone. I watched a response video that was about me this morning. I'm not normally the subject of response videos myself, or at least not that I'm aware of, and I wasn't going to bother with the guy that made it. that's also been buzzing around my channel like a fly for the past week or so, saying dumb shit. But I became a little more inspired when another viewer left a comment regarding the response video and in support of the guy that made it. You might be looking at my reply and thinking, Gary, what's with the number 9? Well, I've realised that my Orsum's scale of dumbness is actually a labour-saving device. I don't have to type a whole response. I can just reference the appropriate number from the dumbness scale. Anyway, quickly reading the comment in question, Gary, all you have used are reification fallacies and formological fallacies. Go to Nathan Oakley's channel and watch your pathetic arguments ripped to shreds. Once again, another ball earther with no proof of anything except your own unproven false ball earth fallacies backed up by nothing. What a shame you have made a complete tit of yourself. Doing my best to set aside your sub-primary school level punctuation, I guess I better go and watch myself get demolished. Nice graphics, dude. I like it.
Hello, everyone. This is Gary Orsum. And Gary has a particular brand of taking apart feminists. He also seems to have a penchant for taking apart flat earthers using fallacious reasoning.
Well, actually, I take apart feminists and flat earthers with the same reasoning, coming from the same person. You just take issue with my reasoning regarding flat earthers because you're not a feminist, you're a flat earther. I'm guessing you don't have a problem with my reasoning in regard to feminism or whenever it's not making your cult look bad.
Now, I've left several comments for Gary.
Well, not so much comments, more like condensed novels that keep repeating the same thing, that are a bit suggestive of some obsessive stalking psychopathy. But hey, dude, different strokes.
And while he may think he has a handle on where he lives, it seems that when debunking flat earth, he goes after the low-hanging fruit.
Oh, don't be so hard on yourself, mate.
And in this instance, he's gone after Orphan Red in a video called The Earth is Red. Now, the reason I've picked this particular section, which is approximately 3 seconds long,
So pretty in-depth then, yeah?
to actually make this video about, is because it is the single best, or worst, depending on how you want to look at it, use of logical fallacy that I have seen in this arena to date.
Thanks, mate. I feel kind of special now. I've never been the best at anything before.
So I thought I'd play this clip out for you so you can get a general idea of exactly what Gary Orsum.
Can I make my first comment there?
Yeah, I wanted to ask, does he think that that was a compliment?
That's what I said. So I said best or worst, depending on how you want to look at it. Well, clearly Gary wants to look at it as using 3 fallacies in the space of 3 seconds is wonderful, according to him. There we go.
I wonder if he really knows what it is. Fallacy.
I think that he thinks that it was a compliment. Oh, should we set up a GoFundMe for Gary?
No, let's not.
Right, carry on the video. Carry on.
Carry on.
Does in this single sentence, because he gets the full-on hat trick of logical fallacy. So let's hear the clip. Over to you, Gary. Let's hear exactly how good or bad this actually gets.
No flat earther has proven in any way that the Earth isn't a globe.
So let's pick this fallacious garbage to pieces, starting with the very first section of his first statement in my little clip.
What, that's it, is it? That's my logical fallacy? How the fuck is that even a logical fallacy? It's not even a path of reasoning. It's a single statement, and actually a statement of fact, if you want to get precise about it.
So he thinks that no flat earther ever disproving that the Earth is a globe is a statement of fact. Well, while that might be the case, it's still fallacious in its reasoning. So disproving non-existence. Why am I even saying this? This is precisely what I said in the video, right? Jesus.
That's what I mean. He just didn't get it.
For the full explanation I gave in the video. Okay, fair enough.
No flat earther. Now, the assertion, the claim, is that we live on a globe.
That's not what I heard. What I heard was my claim that no flat earther has proved in any way that the Earth isn't a globe.
Wow. So he is just like every globehead ever and literally circle jerks us around his exact same logical fallacy again. unbelievable. And he also thinks that as far as he's heard that we've got the claim. Oh, really? Oh, it's just 95% of the Western world that is taught this garbage in school. It's just globes on the sides of every single bus that you see, on every single poster that you see, played at the beginning of every movie that you see. And he thinks it's our claim. No, Gary, the claim is definitely that we live on a spinning sphere. That is the accepted rhetoric. It is the claim.
Shout out to the burden of proof reversal fallacy.
Shout out
But
for
let me
tracking.
hear it again to
Can't retract ones that are valid.
make sure I wasn't mistaken. No flat earther has proven in any way that the Earth isn't a globe. And sorry, what was it again that you claim I said?
Now, the assertion, the claim, is that we live on a globe.
Well, seeing as how the basis of your video is that I've made the greatest logical fallacy you've ever encountered, which I suspect isn't actually true either, yet you can't even accurately represent the claim I actually made, I'd imagine you're sitting there watching this right now and thinking, oh, fuck, he's right. I completely fucked that up. It's at this
No,
Definitely not, Gary. You just haven't quite realized that it is indeed a logical fallacy, because it is indeed your claim that we live on a sphere. If you don't realize that you're actually making that claim, then you're clearly really, really stupid.
point, I'll just call checkmate and be done with it. But
So I'll just declare victory because I haven't actually recognized that I'm making a claim that we live on a sphere. Therefore, my stupidity means I win. Well done, Gary. That's exceptionally good logic. Not recognizing your own fallacy means you've technically won. Checkmate, you say. No, Gary, you are making a claim. You're claiming we live on a sphere.
One of the
for those
one of the most
Nathan, go.
one of the most overused expressions in flat Earth is obviously the Dunning-Kruger effect. Let's just remind ourselves what it is. It's where you think that you are significantly better with your prowess than what you actually are. This guy's doing that. He thinks that he's not making these errors, and he's pretending as though he's not making them, and passing himself off as though he's not making them, and projecting his nonsense back onto you with regurgitating his position. But he's the one that's fallaciously wrong. He's logically and fallaciously wrong. And I'm wondering if this is the best example of Dunning-Kruger that we've seen. Yeah, everyone uses it flippantly, and it's like debunked is like another one of the words that's flippantly used, and it shouldn't be. But this guy doesn't realize how stupid he's looking right now, but thinks he's intelligent. He's a bit like Fight the Flat Earth.
I want to explain burden of proof, argument from ignorance, and reification fallacy, all of which he attributes to me. Yet, as we've just seen, the only one who's arrived at a logical fallacy is Nathan. I'll put the link to his video in the description below. But I'm suspecting that now that it's been pointed out what a blundering fundamental error he's made, he'll probably take it down. Or at least that's what someone who didn't want their fun.
What exactly? He didn't actually get into the material, and he didn't point it out. He's completely bypassing his entire point.
What error has he made?
This guy's a mental gymnastics master.
Nah, what was the error that Nathan made according to him? I've not heard him present.
I don't know. He didn't say.
Yeah, I've not heard him say what error he thinks Nathan's made.
No, he's making the point that because he doesn't think he's making a claim, there is no logical fallacy. His claim being no flat earther has ever disproved that we live on a sphere. Well, that we live on a sphere is your fucking claim, you moron.
It's amazing.
Fundamental error of epic proportions, memorialized for all time would do. But hey, Nathan is a flat earther, so it's not like embarrassing himself isn't commonplace. So who knows? I should probably seize this opportunity to celebrate the support Nathan got on his channel from his own viewers. Some of them even wanted to come over to my channel and say hello. However, none of them seemed to notice Nathan's inability to correctly represent what I'd actually said. So I guess my viewers and I can draw out.
Sorry, correctly represent what you said. I played what you said. How can I misrepresent it when I played it?
You didn't comment on it the right way, Nathan.
conclusions about their powers of observation. Or maybe they're just really into ignoring the truth, no matter how hard it's staring them in the face.
So would that be the truth that we live on a sphere? The claim you claim you're not making? That truth, by any chance? Your claim? That's the truth we're ignoring, is it? Oh, the truth that you just accept, the one we're challenging, that you haven't defended, but you're telling us we should accept as true. Maybe that would be your claim that I've picked apart. Maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe I've just got a massive error and I've just picked on a sentence that I played that doesn't have any logical errors in it. And I haven't taken specific reference, like with every comment I made, where I, yes, did go through in quite a lot of detail. Generally, if it was a feminist video, I'd put something like ace. When it's a flat earth video, obviously, I'm going to pick it apart in great detail and cite specific references with timestamps. So yeah, I'm going to go to a great deal of effort when I'm picking apart your crap. Clearly didn't actually read it, just call it stalky and psychopathic. No, detailed, ripping apart your nonsense based on specific references and timestamps to make it easy for you to double check what I'm claiming. As opposed to just saying you're not making a claim in this instance, which you absolutely are. You claim we live on a globe.
Oh, sorry, did I just stumble upon the defining characteristic of a flat earther? I think I did. As for Dean Wrong telling me to go and see my arguments get ripped to shreds, you do know that arguments is a plural, right? He addressed one thing and couldn't even get the basis of the claim he was supposedly refuting right.
That's incorrect. In one statement, you made 3 logical fallacies. That's why I picked it. Again, earlier on, he said something like, well, that's thorough. No, to make my point, I only needed 3 seconds of your video to point out just how crap your logic is in this regard. So no, it's not that I'm not thorough. It's not that it's not plural. It's not that you only made 1 mistake. It's that you made 3 in 1 sentence, which is quite a record that you're actually proud of. Amazing.
And it's not really that I made a tit of myself. It's that you two made yourselves look like a pair of tits. Just before I go, I mentioned before that Nathan...
Is that it? Is that his address?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he doesn't actually understand what you wrote there. It's big, so he's just, oh my god, so big, he must be a psychopath, so he doesn't have to read it. And he probably doesn't know anyone that'll actually help him translate what you wrote there, so he's just completely oblivious as to what is actually going on and just bluffing his way through it. I think he really is. I think he really doesn't get it.
No, clearly doesn't get it.
I think what we need to do is ask this Gary Orsum, can he tell us what is the current science for gravity? Because I don't think he has a clue. It'd be interesting to see what he comes back with. So, Gary, if you're watching, and if you're not, let's everybody go over and tell him that he's had a response on Ranty's channel. Tell us, Gary, in your own words, what is the current science for gravity? I'd love to hear it.
There might be a little more, Nathan, for all I know. I think there was a little bit, not too much though.
Had been leaving lengthy comments and repeating himself over and over. I think nearly all of his comments contained this same assertion. You have not been to the second law of thermodynamics violation known as outer space. As stated on my last comment, you cannot have gas pressure without a container. Outer space is fake. Outer space is fake. Outer space is fake.
Hurts, doesn't it?
You know, if you wanted to destroy my supposed logical fallacy, which by your own...
Oh, so let me get straight. What he's done is produced pictures taken from the second law of thermodynamics violation that he's never visited. So he trusts his priests because he didn't take any of those pictures. Let's have a quick look at those pictures that he produced. What did he put up? Let's pull them apart one by one.
All of his comments contained this same assertion. You have, as stated on my last comment...
Okie dokie. So we've got pictures of the lights in the sky. So, Gary, just out of interest, did you take this picture? And if you did you take it from the vacuum of space? Just wondering. So there's a few that I'd like an answer on. Did you take this picture? And did you take it from the second law of thermodynamics violation, known as outer space? That's the first one. What about that one? Did you take this picture of a second law of thermodynamics violation known as outer space? Or was it the priest in the picture who told you he was in outer space? Because he can't possibly be in outer space, Gary. The reason being, this bit here, this is supposed to be a vacuum, 10 to the minus 17 torr. All of this black bit, that's supposed to be negative pressure. Negative by comparison to this, 10 to the minus 17 torr, if you want to get specific about the actual numbers. What that means is this cloud here, that's positive pressure, high energy particles. And what they want to do is they want to expand in all directions. Now, the problem being that there's nothing stopping that cloud from expanding into the lower pressure system. And in fact, the second law of thermodynamics would dictate that the gas would fill this space. Now, you've not confirmed that this dude here is actually in a second law of thermodynamics violation, looking down on high energy gas pressure, not filling the space, magically staying velcroed to a spinning ball flying through a vacuum. Now, that's simply not possible, as stated multiple times, because it violates the second law of thermodynamics. Now, I'm going to bet one worthless Australian dollar that you cannot prove you can have gas pressure maintained in a vacuum without it dispersing and filling the space. The priests, this wizard, has told you with photos he can defy the second law of thermodynamics, and he is traveling to heaven, this place he's given you a picture from. You've not taken the picture, Gary. You just trust this wizard. You're never going to go to space. We're never going to go to space. You can't go to space because it's a second law of thermodynamics violation. Now, it might be tedious listening to me repeat the same thing over and over again, but I have to do that with retards who don't understand what the second law of thermodynamics is. Because if they did, they wouldn't put a picture of a violation of it up, claiming that that disproves that this gas, which is total bollocks, wouldn't fill a vacuum. Because, Gary, if you had the vaguest clue about the second law of thermodynamics, you would have appreciated that this picture makes my point beautifully. Because if you can answer this, Gary, I'll give it you that this is checkmate. How is it, Gary, that the gas here isn't expanding in all directions into this vacuum, given that there's no barrier stopping the gas? The matter, your wizard, he can escape. He's matter, not a high energy charged particle trying to expand in all directions. This is very solid matter, and he can definitely escape, can't he, according to you and your second law of thermodynamics violation photograph, in quotes. So if this dude can escape into the vacuum of space, Gary, why the fuck doesn't the gas escape? Why is it still magically stuck to the ball you think you live on and have never seen from this vantage point? Only the wizards have seen it, haven't they, Gary? But you think you've taken this picture? You think this is yours? Or is it from your priest? Someone who told you they can violate the second law. Look, there he is violating it, right? Out in a vacuum. But the gas isn't. That just stays where it is. Isn't that magic? No, it's not magic. It's a second law of thermodynamics violation. Hence, this picture is fake. If you can't see that, and you don't realize it having it explained by me about 10 times, that makes you one of the retards at number 9 on your list or number 10 on your list, a useful idiot that's decided to parrot what this priest has told you, Gary. So are you a useful idiot? Because there's no fucking way you've taken this picture, have you, moron? You're just a useful idiot, punting this dude's narrative, this dude's pictures. So, Gary, I think I'll give your rating a number 9. 9 for useful idiot. Because have you taken this fucking picture? No. You think this picture's real because you're a useful idiot. telling us what your priests tell you, because you've got no discernment. You think this is possible. Gas not escaping, not filling a vacuum. Tell me, Gary, how can you have gas pressure for, say, a tyre? A very, very small differential. 30 psi versus 15 psi. Not a massive differential, like 14 versus 10 to the minus 17 torr. Yeah. So if you can show me a small difference in pressure, not a massive difference, but a small difference at atmospheric pressure of, say, a tyre without the fucking tyre maintaining gas pressure. Because I'm pretty sure if you press your valve, the gas will fill the space. You'll get rapid decompression of the tyre and they'll equalize. The tyre won't maintain its pressure. It will release it into the area available to it. Now, that's a tiny difference. Teeny tiny. This difference here, Gary, you complete fuckwit, is enormous. But you think this proves your point? You fucking idiot. Any respect I had for you and your shitty, crap, garbage feminist videos has been destroyed by this total and utter fuckwittery where you're showing my point. A second law of thermodynamics violation given to you by a priest that you've decided to punt as a useful idiot. That's all.
Sorry. oh, right. That was yeah.
Nathan, how many breaths did you take in that? It sounded like you only took 2.
Probably less than I needed.
Well, all I'll say is that he's not here to defend himself, so you can't lose your temper with someone that's not even here. Unless it's rumpus.
I'm not losing my temper with Gary. I said this on my show earlier, so for less dramatics. Earlier on my show, I said, look, I've not got a problem with Gary. I see him as a normie. So in all honesty, Gary, I don't see this as your issue. You've been brainwashed, in all sincerity, into believing a second law of thermodynamics violation. So it's not my beef with you. My beef is with your priest. And I'll say it in a bit more sincerity to bolster my point, which is to say you are inadvertently a useful idiot. You don't know it, and that's unfortunate because it's now slightly embarrassing for me to have to point out that you've not taken this picture. You're a useful idiot. You're just punting this guy's words like you claimed that guy in the comments was doing. Well, that's what you are. You're a useful idiot for this guy. Now, you don't have to appreciate that, and it's sad that you don't appreciate that.
Sounds like he's quadrupling down on his religious dedication.
Arwin? He wasn't finished talking.
No, I was.
Oh, was you? Sorry, I just wanted a moment, Arwin.
That's just as much fun. But yeah, my overdramatics is just to make the point. In terms of Gary personally, he's just like 95% of the people. That's why he said what he said. You just don't know the truth. Well, in his mind, he's got the truth. There's no reason to question it. And there's the proof that he can laugh at us with, even though I'm now shouting at him, even though he's not here, to make my point that you can't have a second law of thermodynamics violation given to you by a priest, and that makes it so. It's just not the case. But you've not had the critical thought to do that. You've not had the gumption to do that. And the only information you're critiquing is Eric Debay and Orphan Red. Now, I'm sure there's some Orphan Red and Eric Debay fans out there who think they're wonderful. Well, stick them in a room with me 5 minutes and I'll point out how little they know about science. And Orphan Red typifies that, talking about how science figures out how models works. I just want to slap her. Shut up, Orphan Red. You're destroying all the hard work we've done telling people science is about models. Models are bloody pseudoscience. We don't live on a model. But that's Orphan Red. That's who he was critiquing. And in many instances, I agreed.
Did you do that on purpose? Talking about slap?
You are.
I like Orphan Red. I have to admit.
I like Orphan Red, but yeah, she's just doing her own thing, and she's not like really taking notes everywhere and trying to update her lingo super much. She's just having her own thing. So,
Nathan, are you sure you'd need 5 full minutes? Because I could do it in 3.
Do what in 3?
He said, just just leave him to me for 5 minutes, and we'll quickly go over your science or words to that effect. I reckon I could get
Eric Debay or Orphan Red.
No, to be fair, I left it to him before. It's all right, the moment's gone. He said, give me 5 minutes with him and I'll point out how bad his science is or something, words to that effect. But I left it too long, so it's gone now. Forget it. Carry on.
Yeah, you had a humorous aside.
Yeah, it was. It was humorous, but it had a serious undertone.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I do think that if you gave me 5 minutes with them, then yeah, I could set them straight on science.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Would you need 5? Because I reckon I could do it in 3.
Feed line, punchline, Anthony, this isn't working. What am I supposed to say?
Oh, move on, will you? For fuck's sake. All right, then 4. I'll concede 4. I'm not going any higher than 4.
Go ahead.
4 minutes is all I need.
Go ahead.
I can do it in 3. But anyway,
Aye.
my point is that a lot of these ballers refuse to acknowledge that they've got mistakes in their either logic and or understanding of science. And I think we've beaten the drum on the science point enough that the ballers now literally just they go to everything that John says just because they hate it, because he's got citations coming out of his ears from PhDs, from this, from that, from the other, all saying things that ballers do all the time wrong and then criticize us for doing wrong. And they just can't accept John at all anymore. And I just find that hilarious.
Yeah,
Look at this. So, well, just to round out this bit with Gary. So the other videos that he's done, one was on Eric Debay and one was on another dude who I forget. But I would encourage people to check out my comments that I've made for him, because I did take quite a long time over him. I'm not going to deny it. You know, I dedicated quite a long time because I did want to get his attention, and it worked. Clearly, it was worth making those long comments, putting the timestamps in them. But if you check out any of his flat earth material and find my comment on there, you've got full-on timestamps to the specific bits that I point out where there's logical fallacies, where there's errors in reasoning, and why. And I detail it quite specifically. So it's worth having a check out of my comments. I am quite proud of my comments on Gary's Flat Earth videos because I've gone to a lot of effort to make sure that every section of the argument is ripped to shreds in his own comment section. So check him out. But hopefully that will garner Gary a few more views. Hopefully a few people will subscribe to him. I'm going to take it all back. I'm still going to watch Gary all day. And I'm sure Ranty will too. Right, Ranty?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he doesn't really step on the toes of flat earthers very often. And his content is interesting, and I have to agree on most of his stuff. But when he actually talks about flat earth and the way he shows his lack of knowledge on the subject, yeah, you have to point it out that he's wrong. And I'm glad that you did this response to him, because what he doesn't realize is that some of the stuff he might be thinking that he knows is from 2016. You know, this is 2019, and a lot's changed in the past year or two. You know, our argument has advanced so much in the past year that, you know, he wouldn't be able to come into a debate with any of us and stand a chance of winning. Not a single one of us, because we are on the front line. You know, Flat Earth Debate Team, we are doing this daily. You know, we've taken these arguments, we've taken it from the Globers for the past year and a half, and, you know, we've educated ourselves through being pushed into that situation. We've had to, and he hasn't had that. He's just got rhetoric. That's all he is. He's like you say, he's a useful idiot. That's it. Sad, really, because he could be a useful ally as opposed to a useful idiot. If he would actually just look into some of the stuff that you probably wrote. Maybe you should bring up some of the comments that you put up, Nathan. That would be interesting. And maybe go through them and explain, you know, because he called your comments, what was it, a novel?
Yeah, well, I'd agree with him in that regard. I mean, I did go to, like, take quite a lot of quite a lot on each comment, but I literally sat down with a notepad and went through his video on Flat Earth meticulously and wrote down notes, wrote down timestamps, and, you know, I went to a fair bit of effort to pull it to pieces. If you give me a second, I'll see if I can find one of his other Flat Earth videos. I'll just find one, but he's got tons and tons
of anti-Flat Earth.
Yeah, this is one of them. Okay, so I'll just share my screen with you. Hold on.
Well, yeah, no worries.
Okay, have you got me up?
Yeah,
let's see.
the whole Gary thing, you know, calling him a useful idiot, I kind of have to disagree. I don't see anything useful about him. He's just an idiot.
Well, useful to them, useful to the people who are punting this nonsense.
Barely.
So, have you
He
got me up?
doesn't even have any arguments. He's just bluffing his way through. He's just an idiot.
Pictures up.
You're up.
Put pictures up and said, "This is what space is. Look, I can prove it. Here's a picture." Well, that's typical useful idiot behavior. Parrot what you've been told by a priest. So anyway, okay, so this video, have you got it up?
I have, yeah.
Okay, so I just want to play the intro to this one.
I know what intro I should use for this video. Oh, I know. This one.
Okay, so a CGI rendering of a globe for his introduction. Yeah. Anyway, let's have just a quick glance at my comment. It's had quite a few replies, Gary, so more so than most of your other comments, let's be honest.
That guy has like a music studio or something.
Yeah, it's well pitched out. So here we go. Dear Gary Orsum, I've been really enjoying your brand of logic and ability to pick apart fallacious argument. For that reason, I've dedicated some time to replying to this video. I do not claim we have a dome or live on a pizza. Now that's out of the way, and I hope you will read this in time. I will begin at 2 minutes 50. So click on 2 minutes 50.
Provide any proof that the Earth is flat.
Say that again. You can click on stamp.
Even seeks to provide any proof that the Earth is flat. Prove that the Earth is flat. The burden of proof lies with the person making that claim.
So is again a burden of proof reversal fallacy. I'm pretty sure I've detailed it. So 2 minutes 50, burden of proof reversal fallacy. Well, that's quite a lot of effort to go through. Hello, sausage. Welcome back, hun. So yeah, you know, I've gone through it, picked out his fallacious reasoning, time-stamped it, and detailed exactly what he's doing. The claim, in quotes, you know, I go on to detail what a logical fallacy is. You know, the Copernican model, to be exact, this in itself is a reification fallacy, as we do not live on a model. And then I'll give a link to the reification fallacy. So you can go directly to what I have claimed he has done with a reference. And there it is. You know, you can't get much better than that. 7 minutes 56. His real life experience and observation. Oh, let's have a look at this one.
The astronauts said so.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to include the real life experience and observation of those that saw it for themselves, would you? Even though
Right. Useful idiot, Gary. Those who've done it for themselves, not you then. Well, you know, I could go on. I won't.
No, we get the point, but yeah, I mean, it seems like you have put a lot of effort in for that, and his response video didn't appear to have anything like that. It was mainly ad homs. It was a lot of ad homs, basically.
You've got feedback coming from one of us. Definitely me.
Oh, that'll be me. Hang on, let me turn this down a bit.
Are you playing a game?
No.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, his video was full of ad homs, Nathan. You have to agree.
Sorry.
What?
Yeah, I'd agree.
He was a normal, typical baller that's new to the argument that thinks he's fucking Tommy Rock and he's just a dick. And he hasn't learned that he's a dick yet.
Yeah, there we go. We move on from Gary. That was good fun though while it lasted.
Yeah, we can move on. Sure, not a problem. No
Move on to
problem.
what?
Well, I was hoping that the guys from IRM would have joined. I sent them a link. I know that they've had a bit of trouble with the PC. I know Walt has anyway.
Really?
It says his computer's doing an update. It says it might take a few. I'll be there as soon as possible. Now, he sent that at 8:15. So that was 50 minutes ago. So,
Nathan, you know what you do when you had that problem with the sound card or with the voice meter, and it was cursing before the show started about 5 minutes before. Windows had done an update either overnight or very early in the early hours in the morning or whatever. I'm not quite sure when, but I had the same problem and I didn't realise.
Okay,
What
Anthony.
the hell is going on?
Owen, Anthony, in your voice meter desk, go to voice meter and reset the desk. So you go to where it says menu and then click on the very first tab, that says restart audio engine. Tell me when you've done it.
That was weird.
Done it? Hello, Anthony.
Oh, Brandon Cook. Brandon Cook wants to be despanned. Okay, fair enough.
Has it worked?
Ah, you're back to normal.
It's worked. It's got rid of the horrible roboting sound over the top of you,
Yeah.
but you're still causing shed loads of feedback. As always, you destroy everybody's audio.
Hmm. You almost accidentally switched back to your L&B voice.
Oh, he's disappeared, hasn't he? Have you heard the story?
Which story?
6 months, apparently.
Hmm?
He's gone for 6 months, apparently.
Gone to where?
But I'm not entirely sure what the gone means, but the 6 months bit means that we're not going to see him at least.
Okay, so he's going on vacation? Is he planning on going to the space station or something?
I don't know. Just heard a rumor that he's not coming back for 6 months.
Who's this?
Okay.
At Her Majesty's pleasure.
Quite
Really?
possibly. Might not have. He might have stole some mince pies from Santa or something at Christmas. Who knows?
Right. Well, on a lighter note, I'm just going to plug my second channel because I want to put all the shitty data stuff onto that actual channel rather than on the main, because I've put the last couple of videos out and basically they show nothing. I literally tell people, don't watch these videos, they're just data. So I'm going to upload all my data stuff, all the shit stuff, to my second channel. So if you're interested in that, I'm going to put a link in the chat right now. So if you want to pop over there and subscribe. And there you go, because I won't be uploading shitty data ones to this channel anymore. It will be on that second channel. Right.
But won't that leave you with like 3 videos on this main channel?
Yeah, you're a funny fucker. So, how's it going over at your gaff then, Riley? Because you've been doing a few live streams recently.
Do you know, I've been building a PC today. Very hard work, because it wasn't hard work. I just had to actually bastardize the case because I needed to fit something in it that didn't have any holes for it. So I had to manually drill holes in it and basically make it from a sheep into a wolf. It's great. Just an old Nathan knows the gist of the story. I got this old PC that it wasn't working, and worked out that it wasn't memory. It must be the processor or the motherboard, because everything else was working. And I've just bought a new motherboard and processor and memory and shoved it all in and put it back together and reinstalled Windows onto an SSD and basically put it back together and made it really, really cool. And it's just a lot of work, like a lot of hours go into it when it should really be a 20-minute job because it should be dead straightforward. Never goes dead straightforward.
Of course not.
Just been rebuilding it and putting it all back together and re-screwing everything back together, and then you realise that the motherboard's going to come back out because you need to fit something, blah, blah, blah. It's a nightmare. It's a pain in the ass. But it's all good.
You've seen Mr. Chesik's video recently about you and me and Ute as well. He actually brought Ute in. Did you notice that?
It was the one where he was asking me not to watch his video, not to play his video anymore. I've not seen anything since.
Right. You see, you know when we were having that back and forth in Patricia's with Conspiracy Cats?
The one that I won?
The one that I won, actually. Thank you very much. Well, yeah, we were having a bit of back and forth in there, and it got to the point where I sent a super chat to say, you know, my point in big capital letters, and of course you responded with a super chat back, and this carried on, and he did a video about that, saying, why are we giving money to the Queen? He called her the Queen, and that obviously we're all shills, etc.
Tax. We have to pay tax to the Queen, otherwise she doesn't shout us out. So we have to pay our dues.
Yeah, but it's you that I'm interested about. I mean, is it time that we just told everybody? Because you know, I mean, Ute's our handler, isn't he?
Well,
It's the UK version.
Everybody knows who the real handler is. Okay.
If
No.
we need a going around to beat somebody up, then we send Utes.
That's it. Ute's the equalizer. He's the handler. He apparently is a moderator everywhere, and that was his point. It was like, how the fuck is he a moderator everywhere? You know. Well, that's the
Your
reason.
channel, you did it. He's not a moderator at my channel.
Oh, is he not?
No, but I did unban him. So-
Okay. Why?
Why on earth would you ban Ute?
Yeah. Why would you
Because
ban
he
you?
acted like an ass.
Jesus
got-
Christ, Darwin. I'm surprised you're not banned everywhere.
I struggle to believe that.
Me?
Yeah, you can be. You're the biggest
You done?
troll out there at times.
What did I do? I'm just being really, really witty. That's all.
Well, listen. All I'll
Well,
say.
listen, hang on a minute. I'm just giving Mr. Cheswick some more content there, because I'm expecting that he'll make me he'll be a good little boy. He'll run away. He'll do another nice little advert for me that will include all the stuff that I've just said. And yeah, thumbs up. Where you go, mate. Knock yourself out.
What was his point that he was making about the taxation that we were paying to the Queen?
Just that why would we be giving super chats to Patricia?
Oh,
That was-
right.
Because you two are so convoluted in this conversation. So basically, it wasn't about giving Patricia money. It was about their message, which is basically them having a little, what's the word? A spat between them.
Dick swinging.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dick swinging. That's the one. So it's basically Anthony and Ranty dick swinging in Patricia's chat. It's not about them giving her money. It's about the people in the chat seeing their messages.
Yeah, exactly. Because we were having a massive argument in there. It was all over conspiracy cats. I was timing that little motherfucker out, and Anthony didn't like it. Right? And he's like, everyone must be able to speak. And I'm like, no, fuck him. And we were literally going back and forth for about half an hour.
There is a difference that Conspiracy Cats, although he is actually a troll, I get it. I understand your perspective. He's also the protagonist on their side, and I'd rather hear him because he's the protagonist. It's like I wouldn't time out Sly just for being Sly, even if he disagrees with me, because although he is a dick, I still want to hear what he says because he is a protagonist. If it was somebody like Gassy Juice, who doesn't add content or doesn't criticize people properly or whatever, then yeah, sure, time him out. But these people that are disagreeing with us without, for whatever reason, I'd rather hear what they've got to say that they disagree with, because I want to try and understand how they've got into this stupid position where they think that we live on a sphere and they just completely ignore evidence to the contrary, and they fail to realize that there's problems with their logical reasoning or their evidence or their position in the argument in that particular point. I want to hear how they get out of the how do you have gas pressure without a container points, but I don't really want them timing out, and I don't know Patricia's position. Maybe Nathan could tell us, would she time them out and ban them, or would she just leave them because they're not actually trolls, they're just dicks?
I think Patricia doesn't really like to ban anyone, just time them out unless they are obvious spamming sock trolls or really disgusting names. I think that's the way she likes to have her chat moderated.
Shout out to Rob for the super chat.
Oh, sorry, I've missed. Yes, thank you, Rob. I was in Bro Sanchez's channel a few days back, and he was doing an interview with, or holding a debate with Mark Sargent. And, there was a few panelists that were taking him up on the issue of the hit piece that was put out recently, Behind the Curve. They were unhappy with the way things worked out, and Bob was defending his position. So, anyway, I was given a wrench in there by Bro Sanchez, and Conspiracy Cats obviously showed his face. So I timed him out. And what surprised me was that there was a few flat earthers in there that defended him. And you can't do that. You can't do this, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, do you realize who the guy is? Do you realize what he does? And he's like, yeah, but well, some did and some didn't. But I just don't understand how it can be like that. I have a personal view on trolls, and I know Tony's completely different.
Did you not just listen to what Anthony gave as his reasoning? Did you not agree with any of what he just said?
No, I didn't know.
I've muted you, Anthony, just because you were causing shed loads of feedback.
I mean, I don't see it as like when he takes everything out of context and he deliberately lies about stuff. You never see content on my channel where I'm deliberately lying about anything. You know, I'll put the content out and I'll try and review it as best I can. You know, you never see me manipulating stuff or lying about stuff or pretending that, you know, it literally, if I was at 2 feet, I would say I was at 2 feet. I wouldn't say I was at an inch, you know. And so I don't understand why people just can't be honest in this debate. I don't understand it, because it's a scientific thing to try and find out, do we live on do we live on what they say, or is the earth flat? You know, so what's the point in lying about stuff? It only holds you back. It slows things down.
Put it this way: if you're someone like the Rumpus, you're going to be butthurt if you realise that the Earth's not a sphere. If you're someone like who's the other one? Scott Beach. He knows that his daddy lied to him, and it's right that we point it out. He doesn't like it. He thinks that we're childish. But it's right. Daddy didn't go to space, and Daddy did lie to Scott Beach. But he passes the lie on to other people that don't realise that Scott Beach's daddy lied. I don't think that's acceptable.
What about conspiracy cats passing it on to the children that he teaches?
Well, I think that he's the worst. He's the best example of the worst baller, because he passes his lies on directly to children. And I agree with Nathan's approach on it, attack on it, and it's the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, because of people like him.
Well, like I say, we were, you know, I mean, obviously you'll still do your channel the way you do it, and you know, you'll have him wrenched over there. That's up to you. Up to you. I've got feedback.
Yeah, I've got feedback.
Right. Yeah, still got feedback.
Still got feedback?
Yeah.
It's coming through Nathan. Post.
Oh, there we go. Sorted out. Nathan was the issue. Yeah, so I mean, like I say, I mean, you're gonna do the things you want to do on your channel, and you know, I mean, I've just got a different policy here. You know, it's just. But I wish we wouldn't have to have these fights in somebody's chat over stuff. You know, I mean, how do you resolve it? You know, what would be the answer?
Put a 20 quid super chat and not even say a word.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, well, I'm not going to try and beat 20 quid. Hell, get stuffed.
I don't even know why you did it in the first place. With 10 quid, I was like, what the fuck are you doing, you dickhead?
Well, I wanted it to stay up there for a while.
Ranty. Don't pick fights with. We're on the same fucking side. It's okay if we disagree.
Finish that sentence.
No, that's not okay. You can't disagree. Infighting.
I'm going to risk my moment because Arwen's hijacking it. What was the rest of that sentence, Anthony? Don't pick fights with what?
Don't pick fights you can't win, I was going to say.
I thought you were going to say something else.
Why? What were you going to say? Or what did you think I was going to say?
Well, it just come immediately after you saying, well, you're not going to beat 20 quid, are you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, you might have more money than me, Anthony, and I have no problem with that because you own a business where you got. Well, I'm not going to say what you own, but yeah.
No, I didn't mean it that way. All I meant was
I know. I'm just messing with you. I know you didn't mean it that way.
It shouldn't have started. It shouldn't have started that way. That's why I said it. Not because of how it ended, more because of why it started like that in the first place. I think that.
Oh, sorry. Just before you go, any guys, look, Cynical Skeptic. I have to do a massive shout out to Cynical Skeptic. I've got a package arriving tomorrow. He sent it weeks ago now from the USA. Sent it over with all the shipping charges. It's hardware for my PC. It's going to be able to, so I've got plenty of storage on the PC. He's gone to a lot of trouble to send it over. It's cost an absolute fortune to send it over. And then when it arrived, I got landed with a bill from Customs and Excise that wanted, charges for importing it. I was like, right, okay. So I mentioned it just in passing in a chat. Cynical Skeptic was like, because he asked me, and then he sent me the money that paid for that as well. So thank you very much.
Who was that?
Cynical Skeptic. So he actually paid for the customs charges when it arrived from the UK. He sent the full
Wow, that's
package and
well
posting
impressive.
from America. Yeah, I mean the weight was something like 20 kilograms or something. It was massive. You know, shipping it from America, and yeah, massive thank you. And it's arriving tomorrow, so I can't wait to plug it all into my PC. I'll have plenty of space then to put all my data on. Because at the minute I can't even put a single video on my computer because I have no space. So it's literally come at the correct time. Thank you very much.
Big shout out to Cynical Skeptic. Before we move off conspiracy cats, though, we didn't get Arwin's point because I wanted to keep the timing. But do you ban conspiracy cats in your chat, Arwin?
Earth to Arwin. I think he's disappeared. He's probably gone for a smoke.
Yeah, he's probably gone for a smoke because I cut him off halfway through. Sorry, Arwin, if you're hearing this.
He'll come back. I know that Walt's having issues with his PC. Apparently, he's tried to do this update. It's reset 4 times and it's doing a disk check every single time. So I've asked him, well, maybe he should do a system restore. So maybe you could go over there and message him, Tony, on Skype, see if you can fix it for him.
No, I don't know. Brian. So
you're going to be on. So hang on, just one sec. Chucky, do you want a link? Yeah, I'm going to be on till coming up towards 10 o'clock because then Nathan's got he's actually got a premiere starting at 10 o'clock. So about 35 minutes. So if you want a link, I'll send you the link. Not a problem. Right. Sorry, go on.
I'm just loving this this wave that's happening at the minute because YouTube is suppressing everybody on our side by actively promoting the ballers who claim debunk videos that aren't actually debunk videos at all. What I've found it's done is it's made people that were previously not as approachable as what they actually are now far more approachable, and we're all like a lot more supportive of each other, which actually is the opposite of what you would have expected it to have done. You would expect all these ballers to be growing. Yes, that's definitely happening. But you'd also expect us to shrivel away, but that's definitely not been happening in my experience. If anything, it's united us. I love seeing the interactions from, like, for example, Red Pill Philosophy doing dedicated videos supporting Nathan, because it's fantastic. Ordinarily, that probably wouldn't have happened, but it's true. We have to germinate ourselves. We have to self-germinate because YouTube are no longer doing it for us, and we have to scratch each other's back. I've been shouting Del out. I don't really watch his work, but and I don't really enjoy most of his work when it comes on. But that being said, I do appreciate that he's got a role to play, and it's definitely right that he's worthy of a few shout-outs periodically, hence why he's on that list. But what I just love how everyone's working on the same page at the moment. It's brilliant.
Well, I don't think everybody is.
Well, there's two sides to Flat Earth, isn't there?
I think what it is, well, you have 3 factions. You have the Ball Earthers, and they're all on one page. Every single one of them are on the same page.
They're not, Ranty.
Well, from my point of view, they are. They all hate Flat Earthers, right? And then you've got the Flat Earthers, and you have factions absolutely in the Flat Earth. Now, you are deemed a potato if you associate with the people that are actually doing science and trying to bring out the Flat Earth. And then you also have the divisive side of Flat Earth. So you have two definite ways that you can go. Now, I came into Flat Earth on my own. You picked me up early, literally, and I mean that as in I was doing observations of Blackpool Tower at the same time you were doing observations of Blackpool Tower, and through that we connected. So that's how we became friends, and then obviously you introduced me to everybody else, and this is how we've ended up where we are now. But there is definitely 2 sides inside the Flat Earth. There's the people that cause the issues and the trouble and the drama and the calling people shills and stuff like this. And then you actually have the people that are actually providing the content that's actually proving that the Earth is damn well flat. So you've got globe busters.
There's a third angle that you're not familiar with yet, Ranty, which is what I call it's the undercurrent, because there's people that work within Flat Earth that don't publicly do anything, but they work in the like you know, like a riptide's got like, is it like called an undercurrent, where you have a current going one way on the surface, but underneath it there's a current going the opposite way.
Yeah.
There's an undercurrent in flat Earth, and it's absolutely fantastic because I see how the undercurrent works. I just see how it works. I just watch what happens, and all I'll say is that the undercurrent is definitely cool on our side. I don't know whether there's an undercurrent on the Ball Earth side, but there's definitely one on our side. And let's just say that the people that run it and operate it within it are the best people in the whole of the community, and they all know who they are. They're probably watching right now, and they know who I'm talking about if they are watching.
I know who you're talking about.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, then obviously you're not part of it. Maybe you will do in time. But what I will say is that there is a lot of force of good within Flat Earth, but equally and destructively, there's a force or an opposing force that disrupts. That what's the word? Disrupts everything and just tries to cause what's the word I'm looking for? Division. That's the word.
Disarray.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, so we do have, you know, for a lot of, you know, for ourselves, for instance, we have to fight the fight on two fronts. We have to be careful about how we present ourselves to our audience. So, like for instance, when me and you sent super chats to Patricia, who is a friend of ours, who we have, you know, I've been on a show. You've been on a show, we know each other through this flat Earth. That's how we know each other, and we have worked together in the past. So we send a super chat, and then we're instantly caught. We have videos about us for being shills. Then you've also got Bob, who went along with the documentary about the Behind the Curve, and because he basically got screwed over by the mainstream, then you have people saying that he did it deliberately and that, you know, he did a bad thing for flat Earth. And it's like, come on, guys, do you not realize how this works? We have to take chances. We have to step out of, you know, our comfort zone at times, and we have to associate with these people if we're to advance the way we're presenting ourselves as flat earthers. You know, we can't stop what they present. But then the guys that did the UK convention, you know, and they released a video, that was really positive. You know, they stayed with Bob and they did a really good piece. Hello, Chucky, by the way. Sorry, I've not introduced you.
Hey, what's up, guys?
So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we've got we're fighting fronts. We are literally fighting fronts, and it's I wish people would just take a step back and say, well, okay, well, look at the work that Globebusters have done and how they present their stuff every week, right? What do they bring to the table? And then look at the stuff that Nathan does, and, you know, look at his debates and how that's able to, you know, you get people tuning in to listen to that. Yeah. For sure. Well, whatever you choose to say it is, Tony. I know you're saying it jokingly. That's a tongue-in-cheek joking, yeah. But ultimately, you know, that's what people will pick up on. They'll literally take that soundbite and they'll use that against you now. You know, and it's really poor that they would do that. You know.
I agree.
And that's something to and what Anthony was saying about the undercurrent is very, very, very true. Now, again, I don't know what the undercurrent, if there is one, is like in the Globe side of this debate. But after all that hassle I had over the course of January on my channels, I really found out just how strong that undercurrent is. And the flat earthers who are producing videos, so all the people you just mentioned, Bob, Globebusters, Jaron, Patricia, all of those people, they're the tip of the iceberg. There's very, very little of what is actually going on in flat Earth being displayed to the public. Much more of it happens behind the scenes than I could ever even imagine. And you find out instantly when something goes wrong. So I didn't know there was hundreds of guardian angels flying around me waiting to come and go, it's okay, we're here. But I found out pretty quick when something went wrong. And you go, oh my God, this is an amazing community. It's not just a good community, a good subject, interesting. You've got fantastic people here. Amazing.
Yeah. Well, let's not just, you know, just say that. We, you know, being very sort of like, oh, we're making a statement here, but we're giving no facts. We have people that built your website for you. You had to obviously do your own uploads of your videos and stuff, it took time. But all the technical stuff and all the hosting stuff, you had somebody dedicated to you for a month doing that website for you, and it's absolutely sensational.
That's just the iceberg. I had legal help,
Yep.
financial assistance, you name it. It came to me without me even having to put a hand out. People arrived at my doorstep going, here is my expertise. It is at your disposal. Here is my wallet. It is at your disposal. And you're like, really? Yep. And I want to help you. This is unreasonable. And you're like, it is unreasonable. Yes, we understand. And you're like, ah, all these angels flying around. Right.
And the best thing is, a lot of the time, the catalyst is the ball of trolls that are crossing the line and causing like problems, like real problems. When they do that, we all pull together, and it's fabulous to see. It is the best part of Flat Earth. The community itself is the, and I don't know how best to say this, but the best people in Flat Earth are the undercurrent. Now you can interpret that any way you want, but the best people in Flat Earth are the undercurrent. That's the way I'll word it. So.
I want to give a shout out to this comment in chat by Yoga. He says, there are many of us here secretly watching. Keep doing what you all are doing. I agree with that 100%.
Hey, Adam.
Hey, Adam.
Mr. Meekin.
How are you, sir?
I hear you've broken a PC today, have you?
Oh, hang on. Wait. Hang on, guys. Whoa, one sec. Bob's just asked me a question because we have some, most of us here are British. So the BBC, Bob has basically said he has an opportunity to appear in an FE documentary being produced for the BBC. Oh, obviously, I'm a little bit shy. What do you think of doing this? My initial thing
BBC,
is,
mate.
Read the little letters in the contract. That's what I would say.
It's the BBC, Bob. It's the equivalent of CNBC or whoever the mainstream cooks are on your side. I wouldn't touch the BBC with a barge pole.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I wouldn't agree with that. I mean, you get an impression. It's a case-by-case basis, isn't it? So you get a general impression of what the person you're going to be dealing with is like, and you just take it on a case-by-case basis. I mean, I've been contacted by the BBC a couple of times as well, and on both occasions, I won't lie, I was quite cagey about dealing with them and didn't. But every individual in every single company is different, and their motivations are different. So you can't just say, I'm sorry, my kid's making a whole bunch of noise.
Adam, what would you say? Would you say
yes I would. I've been asked by the BBC as well and turned it down. And all I'd say is, if you are brave enough to go out there and be ridiculed, because that's what's going to happen, no matter how hard you try, mitigate, contract, second says, whatever, they're going to paint you for views as daft or with some kind of quirk or mental deficiency, or it's due to a bad childhood incident or whatever the reason they're going to try and paint you for. And I think as long as you accept that and realize that you're not there to wake up the mainstream, but if you are prepared to put yourself on the line, you might wake up another few hundred people by popping on the BBC. And it's a slow burn. So I've got respect for anyone that does go on there, because for me, you can't go on there in any of this stuff ever expecting to have a fair crack of the whip. It'd be daft.
The other way to view it is, if you look at it from the state's perspective, the government, Flat Earth is becoming mainstream now. People are becoming more familiar with the term, and they realise that there's more of us than what they actually realised they thought there was. So what have they got to do with it? They've got to expose it, and the way to do that is to give them the publication, but make them all look like dickheads, because that's what they've got to do. And I would say, well, do it by all means, but don't expect a positive result, because there's flat Earth that everyone's talking about it. It's literally, it's the new black. So if the government are going to deliberately misrepresent us, then that tells you that they're trying to control it. So my view is, tell them to fuck off. It's the BBC. If it was ITV, independent television, I think you've got more chance of a neutral position with ITV than you have with the BBC. But the BBC basically means government.
I think the other thing, Tony, is it's the BBC. So even my in-laws, my parents, watch the BBC now and take everything they say with a pinch of salt. So I think if it gets on there, you can't expect the BBC to give you, like I say, a fair crack of the whip. But what you will get that is highlighting this subject to people that haven't been exposed to it. And a certain percentage will look into it properly, and that'll wake them up.
I think that if Bob would actually decide to do it, then he must be aware constantly, as he is filmed, that they are basically a hostile group out there to make him look crazy. So it's very important not to like go with him and really be himself, try to get as much energy through.
But the other way to
by
look
the
at it,
film.
Hang on, guys. There's
itself.
some more information. He says, Bob says it's not being produced by the BBC; it's being produced for the BBC. So,
By who?
I'm definitely going to pipe up again. So yeah, it absolutely depends on the individual you're dealing with, Bob. So if you're getting a good vibe from them, then do it. I would say absolutely. You know, I've definitely turned down more than I've done. The only one I did do, I got a really good vibe from, and that was Vice Media, and it turned out very well, in my humble opinion. But I got the impression that it would go the way it did by the person I was dealing with. They seemed on the level, to use the pun.
Yeah, could I add to that, Nathan? They might seem on the level, and they might deal with you on the level. But if it is a separate production company, at the end of the day, they've got to sell that product. And there's going to come a point with the meeting with the BBC directors where they go, we like it, we like what you're doing. Can you just make them look a little bit more stupid?
Exactly.
well, there is another angle.
Well, that's where you go in prepared for that.
But that's exactly.
No, I mean in the post-editing chocolate. Yeah?
Gents,
You know what I mean?
course,
Where they
of course
put
they
it
do that.
together to then sell it to a client. Really,
Gents, there is another angle we're missing. If Bob didn't do it, and let's just say for argument's sake, they asked Jake the asshole instead because Bob said no. If there is going to be somebody that'll do it, are we not better off letting Bob do it because he's a lot more presentable than someone like Jake the asshole? Because if he didn't do it and we ended up with some drongo that was keen to jump on the bandwagon because it was TV, and let's be honest, if you're trying to make your channel and get a name for yourself, that is what you're going to do. I would rather see Bob being.
He does have
curious,
more
though, is
experience.
this-
Well, why
I'm
don't you do
wondering
it,
if-
He does have more experience, but he just needs to be very, very careful.
I think you should do it, Tony.
I'd stab him in the eyes if he's from the BBC.
Is it, I'm wondering, is this coming off the back of this recent movie? Is that why this is happening, or is this something that was already in the works earlier? I'm
Nah,
curious.
they're gonna try and control it by making us look daft to the biggest audience possible. That's my view.
They're gonna try to control it regardless. I mean, you have to go in knowing absolutely for a fact they're gonna go and try to make you look stupid and try to control the situation.
Right. They're gonna
Bob
rearrange.
can prepare for that well enough. I mean, obviously there's stuff that he can't control, you know, at post-production and stuff, but
you can
I mean,
only
I don't
control
know.
chocolate what you say, can't you? You can't portray what they do with it afterwards and how they over talk it and then present whatever you say. But if you come on and say, I think it's a snow globe, then they're going to have a field day with that. You know, the reality is when I heard Bob, he was honest. And the thing they focused on was his childhood, once again, as opposed to dealing with any of the facts. The clips I've seen of it are about, like I say, once again, painting distraction. They had the guys on, the makers, I think, on Gem Panda's thing. And, you know, it was a loving where they slagged people off. They didn't talk about the information, the proofs, the facts. They talked about why people become flat earthers, what problems in their life. And again, The Guardian, where it featured on Roxanne, instead of focusing on what a strong individual she is, they tried to portray her as a victim. And
they play the victim card.
Yeah, and this is what they're going to do no matter what. But like I say, kudos and no criticism to anyone who's brave enough to stand up and in the hope of waking people up, know you're going to be ridiculed for me. And that's respect to anyone.
That's the other angle to like multi-angle attacks, because like if you do a bit of street activism with a bit of YouTube promotions and presentations and productions, that's a word, production. So street activism, YouTube productions, any kind of like where you're just getting the general word around. That is, and then obviously you've got FE Core that are doing like actual experimentation, tests, observations that are going to be written up and presented to Nature magazine, because that seems to be the benchmark. These are all multi-angle arrows that are coming in all directions, and everyone's getting attacked from different angles by not just people that are unemployed with no jobs. They're getting attacked by people that are actually of relatively good standing in some profession somewhere. For example, Dr. John D. He's a PhD level spectroscopy something or other. I don't quite know his title, but he's a PhD level guy, and we need more PhD people in here. But the problem is, it takes time to get them in. But the more this is snowballing, the bigger that snowball's becoming. And overall, I mean, it's a gamble, Bob, to be honest. But if there was ever anybody in Flat Earth that would take the gamble and make us look half decent, I would rather it be Bob than anybody else, because, yeah, he's going to get flack for something that they've twisted and contorted to make him look daft. But it's better at coming from Bob than it is from...
The good thing about Bob, Tony, is that if they do try to portray some kind of falsehood, there's enough back catalogue with Globebusters, which is well known enough for anybody who's genuinely interested, not someone that just wants to look at it and see the bad points they paint about flat earthers or the perspective just to keep them cozy in their box. But anyone who is genuinely interested, if it is Bob, there's enough back catalogue of him to actually, if you are interested, to realise that however they portray it, have a listen to the man's words and his logic.
Bob's just said that the company's called Label One.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that too. So
they make hospital or something. Go ahead, Nathan.
I was just saying the same thing. So Bob was good enough to send a link to the company that's making these videos, and they look very, very slick. They have like a little promo for the documentary they made about schools, like running in the top banner part of their website, and they look like a proper good documentary filmmaker. They're making stuff about, as I said, the school one, the hospital one, which you mentioned in the chat, Monkman and Seagull's Guide to Britain. They're a documentary filmmaker. The job interview, and then they've got a backdrop with somebody at a Virgin Trains job interview. So they're making documentaries about fairly current events, I suppose. When it just comes down to the impression you get from the person who gets in contact with you, the actual producer. And if you think that they're, gonna screw you over, you just get that impression from talking to them. I don't want to say it's a sixth sense, but you just, you have a bit of a chit chat with them. And an example, Anthony, where you were using Flat Earth Asshole was Karen. So I can't remember which newspaper got in touch with me, but a newspaper got in touch, and I didn't get a good impression from them. I just didn't think they'd do I thought they'd just ridicule me. And Karen obviously had the same contact, got in touch with them, and did the piece, and they ridiculed her.
Okay, I'm looking at the employees, the team. They actually have photos, and their names are okay, and they don't look that bad, really.
Is there any 33s in there?
I don't know.
Is Simon Dixon 33?
Oh, there are 2 Taylors, though. But
Joe Taylor, yeah, that's definitely 33. Tammy Hoyle, that's the 33. Joe Ingham.
Dude, what are you doing? No, but seriously, I'm looking at their faces, and they're okay. I think they're good people, but yeah, they're still, if they're gonna deal with the BBC, they're still gonna have the final cut. So,
is this a joke?
Of course, it's a joke. Flat Earth Data.
He looks like a good person. What are you expecting to see, Arwin? Pair of horns on them or something?
Yeah, I can read.
Dude, that's my. I can read people.
He's using his Arwinian wizardry right now.
I'm using my psionic elven powers. Come on.
I don't know, man.
Cool. I would call it a spider sense too.
Nathan, clearly he's just thrown a 9 and he's able to read them. It's
useful idiot.
They do look like very nice people, Arwin. I will grant you that. But I mean, I'm just looking at their content.
That don't mean shit.
They're all genuine
filmmaker, and I think their production quality, at the very least, looks exceptional. So at the very least, Bob, you'll look nice.
And if you meet Merle Curry, say hello to her for me.
Granted, just sign up the females.
Yeah, she looks very attractive.
Anyway,
I'd just say again, guys, they might be as lovely and genuine throughout every single bit of it. But at the end of the day, when a management meeting is called, and if they're going to sell this product by making certain changes that are required, they will make those changes, right? Irrespective of how nice and genuine the people were at the time of filming and how they engage with you. Even if their hearts are pure, the situation will be led by other people, and it will be dictated by the media companies that want to use the filming they've got to reach whatever agenda they have.
Yes. Exactly.
I think
doesn't take much alteration. So you can go from me saying something like the Earth is obviously and observably flat, space is a second law of thermodynamics violation. But if you have over the top of it, suddenly it doesn't sound so convincing.
I would say, Bob, do it and be prepared to take one for the team, because we all know what's going to happen. And if they don't do it, it's a bonus, but we know what they're probably going to do. And we'll not hold it against you if they do, because we know that they're going to twist something. They'll find something that they can twist and make it into something that it's not. And people like Gem Panda and all them lot will go, did they look like dicks? And we'll just, we
disagree, Tony. I think if he misspeaks once, we should all turn on him.
Yeah.
No,
we'll lynch him.
No, that's what people have done over the Curve documentary, and it's been shameful. It really has been shameful. I mean, what can you do as a flat earther? You're up against it from the minute.
There's nothing you can do.
To their arena, you are up against it. So you have to go on.
Listen, if I spent 3 days with anybody, but on the ball side or the flat side, it only takes one out of place, out of context comment that's twisted and contorted in it in such a way, and it makes them look like a dick. And we all do it. It's just twisting it out like this. We just know that it's a sleight of hand, isn't it? And it's just one of them things that you've just got to realize. And if it happens, we know that they're going to do it. So, and we won't hold it against you unless you're on the bad side of flat Earth. But just be prepared to take one for the team and just do the best that you can.
Well, the best thing,
just be strong. Just make sure that in every shot you're at your best. And
flexing your muscles in every shot, Bob.
Not like that. But be strong.
Let me just do a quick check for BBC documentaries about flat Earth. So I'm just going to have a quick nose around now, and you'll get an idea of what the BBC have as a...
Not the BBC. Not the BBC, though.
But they're producing it for the BBC.
Right, but that just means it'll go one way or the other. Either, if what you're saying is correct and it doesn't fit in line with the BBC programming, they won't be capable of selling the show to the BBC. But if you look through their website, they're not just selling to the BBC, they're selling to Channel 4 and other networks. So they'll punt it to the BBC. And from a sales point of view, so they're going to they're trying to pitch it to Bob. And if you're going to try and pitch it to Bob, you're going to use your best client. When I was selling electronics and dealt with THX Lucasfilm, you could be damn sure I was dropping that name in, or the Royal Opera House, or the BBC. I used to tell people we deal with the BBC, we supply them with equipment because it sounds good. And if you're trying to promote your own business that's going to be selling to the BBC, which is exactly the same situation, you're going to tell them, oh yeah, we're going to sell this to the BBC. Well, that's their intention. It might end up going to Channel 4 for all we know. But that's just a sales pitch. In other words, they're going to put their best foot forward and make it sound like it's going to go on the best network, which in this instance is the BBC. But they're not the BBC. And yeah, Adam's right. If they try and pitch it to them and they go, oh, yeah, we just need a bit more clown music over this Bob guy and that'll be perfect, they might decide, no, that's not the way the documentary was made. Thank you very much. But, we'll go somewhere else. On the other hand, it's normally about how much money they can get. And those alterations will be made if they can get the thing on the air. So, it's 6 to 1 and half a dozen of the other in that regard. But I will just say it one more time. It's all dependent on the person that you're working with. Everybody's different.
I'm not seeing anything. I'm seeing news articles about it, but I'm not actually seeing any kind of video produced or documentary about flat Earth. So in some ways, it looks like it'll be a first for the BBC. But then when you look at the articles that they've released, which include things like why do people still think the Earth is flat, you know, it doesn't sound like they're going to try to promote flat Earth in any way other than ridicule. That's what I'm seeing.
Your viewers, Runty, so how many people are watching?
Sorry, say again.
Have you seen how many people are watching?
Yeah, we've had 207. It's been awesome. Absolutely a record.
207. I only got 150 last night. What the hell's going on there?
Well, what's the conclusion you can draw from that, Anthony?
No,
Well,
there must be view bots
you did
going
have
on or something.
Brenda on your show, and
I know, I can't stand Brenda.
If we're on 207, was it, Ranty?
It was, yeah.
I did a quick search for the gematria on that, and it is the Hebrew word for light. So there you go.
It's on 205 now. It's the Hebrew word for shill.
That's
oh my god, are you serious right now?
that is gematria spelt with a G though, guys, not a J.
I'll plug my stuff. So I'm putting a link in your chat right now, Ranty, because the today's brand spanking new flat Earth debate is going to go out on Nathan Oakley 1980 in 10 minutes time. So hopefully everyone from your crowd will go over. I'm actually going to sponge some viewers from you for a change. Excellent.
Yeah, no worries, my friend. Right, listen, I will round out now. Going to give it 5 minutes, but I do want to promote Iron Realm Media, Sleeping Warrior, and Arwin. Chucky, yeah. Chucky's cool.
Ranty.
Yes.
Do you know how old? Do you know how old Chocolate Saying is? Have a guess.
33.
33.
Nathan, how old Chocolate Saying?
Oh my god, I'm sure Pete Shea thinks I am. So.
Nathan,
Yeah. I always, because I don't know, I've never seen him. I always just automatically assume he's about the same age as me. So I'm going to say, but maybe about 40.
Yeah, I'm 42.
Chocolate, how old are you?
Chuck, I was a little younger than that.
42.
What?
42.
Holy shit.
He doesn't sound a day older than 30 for me.
You think he sounds younger than him?
Riley, you've seen me, man.
I know I've seen you, and you look about 30 as well.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
That's black people. Black people always look far younger than white people. They age.
Yeah.
Chocolate, have you started shaving yet?
Yeah, I started last week.
I'm
I
amazed.
disagree with you there,
What are you
Dave.
talking about, man? I'm 40. I'm a grown ass man. What are you talking about?
No, but you look like you're just fresh out of high school, man. It's terrible.
That's awesome.
Leave 40, it's mad. Mind you, I'm there next month, in a couple of months.
Right, hang on, guys. Right, listen. I am going to spam a link right now, and it is for Iron Realm Media. I love these guys. They do a show on Friday evening. It's evening for the UK, so I'm not sure what time it is in America. But essentially, they try and model themselves on Globebusters, I would say. Not quite as many subscribers, unfortunately. So if I spam the link right now, we have 200 people watching. We can get them to 2,000 subscribers right now. They have 1,903 right now. So I would love it if people are in the chat right now that haven't subscribed to Iron Realm Media. Go across, follow this link. Please subscribe to them. You'd be doing me a massive favor, because they do stuff every Friday. They do a 3-hour show. It's just like Globebusters. You'll love it. Literally love it. It's live. You know, these guys interact with you in the chat. You know, it's really cool. Go ahead, subscribe.
Cheers, Ronty. Mate, would you just screen share me now? It cost me $5 this afternoon to get this on Nathan's show. He tried for a tenner, but I weren't having it.
Right, one sec.
Shout out to Bob saying 42 is the answer to life. Every time somebody asks me my age and I tell them that, I hear that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
According to the mice.
And Charlotte, there's apparently a lot of people 42.
Oh my God, John Watson says it's also the number of gallons in a barrel of oil. That's weird.
Oh.
Yeah, Cammy said 42. Don't panic.
Yeah, that's why you don't want to get into gematria. Everything starts to make
It's
sense.
ridiculous. And I don't want to say it's ridiculous. It's just, come on, man. How much?
It is the
whatever.
key, Chocolate 42, because all you need
Right.
to stop listening to this ball nonsense is stick a babelfish in your ear and you hear clearly.
Bullfish. No, I'm okay without the fish.
No, you give them a proper
Thanks,
fish
Adam.
slapping.
Right.
Can I do this shout out then? Is
Yes.
that all right?
Go ahead.
Yeah, cheers, bro. Well, tomorrow night, 10:30 UK time. We've got a really busy show. We've got Gary and Dee Dee popping in just to give us an update on the Amsterdam convention. We've got Twitter truther Sarah Patterson, Sarah8 Smiles is a handle, so she's going to come and chat. Walt's been hearing the talk she had with us on TFR today on his channel on Flat Earth Head, if you go there. And then we've also got Travis from Red Hen Radio, so the Plain Truth, coming in. So quite a busy show this week. So who knows where it'll go? We've got a few show notes, but you know what it's like, guys. We'll ended up talking veganism last week, so who knows? But you're all welcome. I'd love to see you there.
Yeah, you guys are great. Listen, I'm going to round up. So everyone, the panelists we have right now, Sleeping Warrior, he still has a few more subscribers than me, but yeah, I would absolutely go ahead over there and subscribe to him. He does 2 or 3 coffee shops each week. It's really fantastic stuff, and he's doing great stuff in the education system by challenging it at a very high level in the UK. We have Arwin that's doing his Flat Earth Early Birds. Everyone should go over and subscribe to him, watch it. He does it every single day. He does an hour. You'll find it. It's ARW. Hang on. ARWIJN. Yeah. And obviously we've got Nathan Oakley in here. We've got the Adam Meakin. He's from Iron Realm Media. We have Chucky. Oh God, I'm not even going to say it because I'll get
Chocolate Saiyan.
Chocolate. I'll get it wrong. I can't say it.
Chocolate Asian.
Now you're saying
You just said it. Saiyan.
Chocolate Saiyan.
Chocolate Saiyan.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Chalky works for me.
Or chocolate Asian, right?
And now, so in 2 minutes' time, we've got Nathan Oakley. He's got his Flat Earth debate starting in 2 minutes. He's spamming the link right now in the side chat. So if everyone would kindly just piss off over there and jump on his channel and carry on the stuff over there and watch it over there, because this stream is finished right now. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by. Love you all, guys.
Everybody.
7 watching. And guys, listen, stay on the channel. I'll just stop the broadcast, but yeah, I'd love to chat to you on an after show. So I'm going to end the hangout right now for the broadcast.
Night, everyone.
Thanks for having us, Ranty.
No worries.
Later, everybody.
Sub to me.
You too.